It's been a very wonderful day, a very busy day, a very stressful day here at Golden Tulip Agul Lake Resort, the sitting place of Anambra State Transition Committee. And we have been giving you updates on the happening here. There has been a lot of discussions, a lot of interactions, a lot of doings, you know. This is economic doing. And right now, I'm going to present to you a very important personality, a media guru, a writer par excellence, a media icon. In fact, he's my father. When I used to read about him, I used to think he's a masquerade writing until I got to know that this is a important media personality. You might have read about him. He has been writing and mentoring people in this media space. Sir, can you introduce yourself to our viewers, sir?
My name is Anatune, and as I always say, I'm from Awa.
Okay.
Awa is
on 1 hour.
Urumba North Local Government. I went to secondary school in Emekuku High School, and I came out, I did very well in school. I was a senior prefect of the school. From there, I went to NU campus where I studied marketing, and I think I was one of the best. When we passed out, I started my work in manufacturing, where I work in two manufacturing industry. One is NIPO in Ibadan, then quality metal industry. NIPO was into, I don't know whether they say it there, into plastic. Quality metal was into steel. So that gave me opportunity to know what happens in the steel industry. I was not feeling quite happy. So from there I went into advertising. I worked in a couple of advertising agencies. From there I was hired to become the managing director of Dawn Functions Nigeria Limited. After some time I set up my own private business, B3 Communications. And sometime last year it was needed that I had to come down to Anambra State to help in the Soludo campaign effort. So here I am, still doing the same thing. And I think that's just that. You know,
Okay. Okay. Sir, you have been a very wonderful personality. We've been reading all your write-ups. We've been posting all your write-ups. We've been sharing. You are articulating write-ups, and it seems you've been with Professor Charles Chukuma Soludo for quite some time. I think you've worked with him for a while. You can tell us about him.
The truth of the matter is that, yes, I think you're correct in what you're saying.
All right.
Because when you are working on a brand, because remember Soludo, Professor Chukuma Charles Soludo is a brand. Okay. It's a brand I started working on when he was in Central Bank.
Okay.
So from Central Bank, even when he ran for the last time he ran for governorship in 2009, no, 2009
okay.
and 2010,
okay.
I was also involved.
Okay.
So I think I can say and I understand that brand inside out. So it makes it easier for me. Because when you understand the product very well, you are able to communicate the benefits people derive from such a product. And that's just that. Then the other thing is that you also have passion, belief in that product. So that makes it also easier for you. All my life I've never been able to get involved in anything I don't believe in. And the same thing also applies to people. If I don't believe in you and you invite me to work for you, I'm very, very honest. I will tell you I can't. Because the motivation, the passion to do it will not be there. So, since he's already somebody I believe in his capacity, and I believe in the kind of things he will do for Anambra and even beyond that. So, his achievements are there. And we thank God that the last effort we made have been very fruitful.
All right, sir. I can't easily forget your personality. I remember, you know, I say always remember your humble beginning. I remember when I met you for the first time at the, that was at Batete when um, uh, what's that his name? Honorable
Ibezim.
Ibezim hosted Professor Sisi Soludo.
Ibezi.
Ibezi. And you asked me, I said, I'm pious. You told me you are Joe Anatune. I said, you've been seeing what we are doing, and you encourage us to move on. And since then, I've been looking up to you, and you have been very wonderful in this project, starting from the time during the consultation, from consultation to the primaries, to electioneering, and then the announce was the results was announced. You've been there, and you've been there, one of the member of the state transition committee. Can you take us through what it has been like in the transition committee? You have been doing wonderfully well there.
Well, the point is, it's good to be. It feels good.
Yeah.
If you like, you feel your ego is massaged that you are in such a wonderful committee where you have the best from the southeast. You feel very good that you made a committee of 80 wise men and women.
Mm.
But let me also tell you, especially for those who may not be part of that committee is purely a very technical committee.
Okay.
And if you don't have the technical background to get involved in such a committee, and you get appointed, and when you get appointed, the auxiliary people will clap for you, people will call you on phone and all that.
Mm.
You discover that when you come there, you become a very miserable person. Because
you may even go back and tell, I don't know what they are doing there.
Stop clapping. So, because what we're actually doing in that committee or that transition team it's a global, it's at the global level.
Okay.
The number of things you have to go through, because essentially, what is transition all about? You are trying to do something, to ensure that the new or the incoming government comes in on a very strong footing. It enables them to move from the known to the unknown. What is the known? The known is that, look, this is the state of affairs of the outgoing government.
Mm.
They know it very, very well. They know it. They also understand what they achieved, their challenges, and so on and so forth. So you are, having known that, it enables you to know where to start, where not to start, what are the low-hanging fruits and all that, where you can start so that the people will start to get interested in what you're doing. That is on one side. Then on the other side is that government is a continuum. You need the goodwill of the outgoing government so that you build on whatever they may have done. And in these states, the previous governments of APGA have done extremely well. So this incoming government need that goodwill to be able to build on that. Life is a very continuous thing, so you keep building and building. But let me also tell you, it's not just that we had wonderful people in that committee, but the most important thing I saw is this. Last week, or this week, when the committee was supposed to start their deliberation and inauguration, people came from different parts of the country. There was also the issue of the sit-at-home, which lasted from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But Wednesday was the day that people were supposed to come. Mm. In spite of that, we are surprised that virtually everybody who was invited came.
Was there.
They braved it. What is caused two things. They had passion to work for the state. They were very patriotic people, And in the 3 days that we met and worked sometimes late in the night, you can see that passion. You can see that moment. You see the passion. You see people. There are sometimes you go for this kind of a thing. Immediately after the inauguration, when you come, the seats will be empty. Mm. Even in our National Assembly, sometimes you see that please don't put that. the seats will be, so that they don't, they don't go after, the seats will be empty. But from beginning to this afternoon, when we have to wind down, you know, the energy that I saw, the passion that I saw, you know, I've never I've not seen that in any workshop or committee
setting
in the past.
All right. Okay, sir. You talk about passion, you talk about commitment, you talk about making sacrifice as well. I have listened to quite a number of members of the committee. Some say that they are working pro bono.
Pro bonus, yes.
Yeah, some are not gonna take anything from the state. Can you tell us something about some sacrifices like that?
You know, the first time the list of the membership of the committee came out, there were a bit of issues here and there. Hell was let loose in certain quarters that the number is too big and all that. But if you actually have to do a very good job, you discover that this number, you even need more people. You need more people to get involved in the job. By the time you start to divide it into subcommittees, you know, let me not go into using other technical words so that the man in the space can understand what I'm saying. Now, the next worry, which I also see people not see, that you are going to spend so much money, so much money.
That's the concern sometimes.
That was the concern. No, the people who are, most people who are, in fact, almost everybody that's in that committee, you know, has the capacity, the financial capacity, a very large extent, to be able to do this thing without depending on the state. So when you hear that a good number of the committee members are paying their hotels, are paying for their flight tickets, and so on and so forth, it's because of the love they have for the state, it's because of the love they have for the incoming government, it's because of the love that they have that they want to see a new Anambra. It's because of the love that they believe in the vision of Professor Soludo. And what is that vision? You know, he wants to take Anambra to the next level. And what is that next level? He wants to transform Anambra to a livable and prosperous society, homeland. Livability is important because you can also be wealthy, you can be prosperous without being livable. So that's what is attracting people. And even so far, for some of the action because of the fact, you know, a lot of investors are showing interest in Anambra State, you know, building on what the Obiano administration had done. And then Professor Soludo coming in, you know, a lot of Anambra has become the poster boy of the Southeast, if not the poster boy of Nigeria, you know. So it's, I think this is the best time to be on Anambra.
Yeah.
Anybody who is an Anambra person
should be proud that we have one of the best.
One of the best
in Nigeria.
Not anywhere in the world.
That's wonderful. Okay, sir. Coming back home, I remember sometime last year we were at Awa with you, where you hosted the, and you made a plea. Yeah, organization of the Mamu River people. You share your concern, your need, your want, what you requested from the incoming governor, and I'm sure you have confidence that these things your people needed will be.
You know, there were a lot of jokes. You know, a lot of jokes. I hear when some people were coming to our, they were wondering where they were going.
We were there. Yeah.
Because when they passed some heavy bushes.
Yeah, I was thinking that we are going for hunting.
Whether we were going for hunting. But the beauty, the beauty of our and the other neighboring communities,
the Mamu River people,
is the Mamu River people is that, you know, they live in they stay close to nature.
Yeah, very beautiful place.
Very, you know, remember that even Mr. Governor, because he doesn't want the excellency, observing in that meeting that even the air he was breathing is different from
fresh.
Maybe what the kind of air he was getting in his hometown in Sofia. The point there is that, you see, the communities, the four communities, are in need of urgent change. They need infrastructure. It's purely to a very large extent, people do farming, they do fishing.
Yeah. Oh, so there are fishers.
That is the mom and
I have to come
and a lot
and
of yes. So now you can they tap palm wine and a couple of other things, now I think we owe it to them to be able to accelerate some form of development there, so that they will be able to sell
those things to
those agricultural produce
to urban dwellers.
At a reasonable price. There was a joke about our community, and they say, "Onye bịara n'awa goro mmanya." No, onye bịara n'awa enye ya mmanya free, no goro ya ego. It may be difficult for you to understand. Then it was extremely difficult for you to get into the
because
of the bad road.
You take it
so,
as a gift, but to take it out of the place,
place is a big. So you have already paid for it.
Okay.
Now, at one point, we had a generation who were not, because of our locational advantage, they were not proud to say they come from that time. So if you ask them, they say they come from Ufuma. But our own group, we figured that every community that develops, we have people who make that community to develop. And we also see some good things in what people think was bad. So we are personally, I'm extremely proud of that time. And I will do as much as I can to see that by the time we are not here, the place can be a tourist
attraction,
destination
for the state.
Wow. Because it has everything that can make people. In fact, there was a joke when Mr. Governor was going on. He said something about when they finish cleaning on it, that they move the people. They said no, because all those people, they will come and spoil the hour.
Okay.
So what we want is we want people. In fact, if they can bring white people to come and live there, we want it to stay the way it is. But at the same time, we also want to bring modernity. So it's going to be, the hour we envisage is maintaining our as it is, and at the same time injecting some modernity. So it's a combination of both. Because we don't want to lose the virginity. But once you lose it, it's no longer our. But at the same time, we want our to be what it is. But let me also tell you, and I'm sure you observed that, in spite of all that, the town has a lot of people, they have a lot of professors, lawyers, and all that.
Great men.
Yeah, great men. And they're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
So I think even our community, the secondary school we have in our town was built by our people, the one beside my house. There is a street light, from the beginning of the town to the other. It's self-help project, the current evil of the town was the person who put the street light. And we're all grateful to him for what he has done. And so many other things, So I'm sure that one of the critical things we need in that time is to open the road.
Just to connect it to other communities.
The good news is that from our town to Oka, if that road is open that road from our place to Amansi, somebody can live in Awa and come and walk in Oka, because it's a 14-minute journey from the town to Oka. So what they have, I live in Lagos, sometimes from my office to my house, which should take me 10 minutes, will take hours because of the hold up. So if I have to live in Oka or walk in Oka, and then within 15 minutes I can come back to Awa, why should I bother or have all the headache of
living in Oka, where you can stay and work from Awa? That's wonderful.
So that's basically the challenge. Access road. And once we have it, so many things will happen. We're very hardworking people.
Oh, yeah,
and
I see that.
The most important thing is also our people are very, very honest. You have many people who have even come to marry women from our place, keep sending on
Giving
that, recommending people to come
Are
and
you
marry.
inviting us to come and take wives from our...
You already married, you know, so...
I can take a second wife.
Maybe the other young men here can come, but not you.
You don't want me to take a second wife?
No. I'm sure if your wife is watching this interview and
you see me discussing second wife,
and
she'll be running kata kata.
No, she won't. But the most important thing is that if you see me approving it, she will say, "Holy Ghost fire to this man who is doing it."
Oh my God. Okay, it's been a very wonderful one with you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
My patron, I will always say you are my patron because when I read from you, I have to adjust the way I write my own.
No.
And I encourage my people, our writers. We have some great writers. I tell them to read. So read from.
Let me tell you. There's one thing about me. When I was in secondary school, you know, the only art subject I did was what was it now? I think it was the other economics and not commerce, government.
Okay.
I scored very, very high marks in physics, chemistry, mathematics, and all that. But somewhere along the line, even as a student, I discovered I was writing article I was in a world, you know, for the Statesman. You know, when I did the sciences, you know, I just 1 hour is enough because they are. If you know it, you know it.
But arts, you have to write.
You have to
three pages.
No, in the arts, some of them, you know, I find that when I read the arts, I get some joy about what they talk. You know, maybe reading literature and all that. Now, somewhere along the line, you know, one of my teachers said, "Yes, I know you are good in science, but you will be a happier person to go and do the arts." I had a senior brother who was in the university then, you know, I said, no, I should go and read medicine. And I was wondering what my life would be in medicine. You know? Eventually, we talked there, you know, some people suggested mass comm, you know, somewhere along the line. Somebody told me that I can go, one of the marketing managers in Niger Sem there said, I can go and read something like marketing. There is a communication aspect of marketing, which they call marketing communication. You know. I said, okay, let me, at least in order to reduce the controversy, I went to read marketing. Even those days when I was in the construction company, you know, I found that once I finished work, you know, I was writing one article for one newspaper and all that. And when I finished it, you know, it was giving me joy more than...
Even before that last year you're talking about, I've been reading about it. I will say, who is this journalist? You were writing for the state government.
So I said, okay, what am I going to do? That was when I now left my factoring job to advertising. So my thinking, although I figured that I disappointed my family by not reading medicine, which they thought I could read. But my happiness is that somewhere along the line, I have a daughter who is a medical doctor, so she has paid. She has paid for me.
She has paid for my food. You were supposed to have done.
She has done what I should have done. You know, so I thank God that wherever my elder brother is, or my father, you know, who wanted to have a daughter in the house, you know, there was a time, you know, I have this uncle from my grandmother's place, you know, Obieri, who was in Intercontinental, chairman of Intercontinental Bank. They gave me, those days when they're starting up the merchant banks, you know, my elder brother, being a senior person in First Bank, gave me a note to go to Obieri so that I would be employed, you know. And when I got there, they gave me employment. And I then got a job, you know, in Sunrise Communication. Okay. Intercontinental was paying as much as 1,000 something then. But in Sunrise, it was about 600 or so. monthly salary. And I was supposed to start work the same day by the appointment. What could I do? I woke up in the morning and went to Sunrise. My elder brother, my late elder brother, when he had it, he told me that I have thrown away greatness.
Because of the...
Because I went into advertising
instead of
banking. You know. So, but it's also good. I've also lived my life, you know, trying to prove him wrong. Because sometimes when people challenge you, I live my life trying to prove my senior brother wrong that I've not thrown away greatness. You know, because maybe I may not have made money, but there are quite a number of things, just like we are talking about the road in our. There are quite a number of things I have done for that town.
Yeah.
It's not because of the fact that it wasn't money. You know, when the last military governor was in that town, was in Anambra State, Ukiwe, I was doing a lot of work for his Oga, the chief of air staff, Edward. And anything my people needed at that time, I would just tell Edward, he will order the man. Go and give them. That's why when we had like electricity, you know, and all that.
Wow.
Maybe that's why they call me this one.
Okay.
So, and in most of those things, you know, what was I doing for? I was writing speech for Edward. Because it comes natural to me, I may not regard it as anything. But Edward felt I was doing great work for him. You know, so to that extent, I think I can say that I have proven my brother wrong, that I have not thrown away greatness.
Yes. Even today, a lot of us media people have been looking up to you, and you've been mentoring a whole lot of young, upcoming media personalities. So it's a wonderful thing you're doing.
No, the point is this, you know, it's not actually that. Within the media industry, advertising, radio, TV, so on, if some of the people who have worked under me, they come together, they can form a big association. People like Christian Aborima and others. They just walk into my office, I give them space and they employ them. Because I feel that they were good. Quite a good number of them, you know. Some of them are MDs of their companies.
Wow,
my own philosophy is that when you are tired, when you say you're tired, they say you want to go. In fact, immediately I employ you, I know that one day you will go. Because I don't want to determine your future. Because I'm running my life. So in the course of, but if we need to have anything to do together, what I've done is that if we need to have anything to do together, we meet and we share ideas and knowledge, and then we work together.
But sir, Prof have a lot of respect for what you're doing.
I don't know.
He has a lot of in fact he has I can see that, I can even say that. Because even from hosting and a lot of, in fact, something he will say, go to Joe, you understand? So thank you for...
Maybe it's either that our chemistry, you know, beyond, perhaps, you know, I do not also believe I'm the best, you know, but sometimes you can have a situation where your chemistry and somebody's chemistry works. And
you have a kind of understanding.
So maybe when you mess it up,
you will always...
He will overlook it.
Yeah.
And even when he annoys you, you will overlook it. But that's one thing about the relationship. It may not necessarily be that you are the best. Because what I've actually discovered that especially for the kind of business we do, because anytime we are carrying out advertising campaign, population campaign, you know, your chemistry and that of the MD of the company must gel. If it doesn't, anything you do, you say it's not good.
That's wonderful.
I work for let me tell you, when the first time Buhari came out to run for president, it was myself and the late Prince Tony Momo that he invited. We took photography for him. the first set of pictures, you know, in 2003, you know. That was after, because I worked with Prince Tony Momo on the Alex Ekweme campaign.
Okay.
And remember Ekweme, Obasanjo, Ekweme, Obasanjo. That was Tommy Kimi. So, when the Ekweme thing didn't work, Prince Tony Momo was the media director, you know. So, his brother, who is still the Ataro of Auchi, a good friend of Buhari, you know, so they invited him to work for Buhari, and naturally he took me to him, my company, you know, because, you know, one thing about this communication is that communication theory, somebody can come and say, we'll do this, we'll do that, you know. When it comes to the implementation, that is where there is a problem. Difficult. Because we can say, remember what we have been talking about here, we can be saying, okay, let us do documentary. That is policy. That is strategy, documentary. When it comes to implementation, you need a script writer. You need, in those days, there are people they call gaffers. You need people who do lighting. You need people who do editing. You need all those professionals, voiceover people, you know. So, by the time you put all of them together, and you start the implementation, you know, somebody has to really sit down and conceive how that has to go. In those days, you know, we do storyboard. From where you start doing, you now have the producer who will interpret the storyboard and then do the production. You know. So these are the implementation aspect. So why Prince Tony Momo them were doing the policy, the tools, we were doing the implementation, you know. The first time he ran with Ekweme. No, with Okadibo.
Yeah.
And we sat down and said, okay, let's position Okadibo as the thinker and then Buhari as the doer, you know. So the campaign was the thinker and the doer.
Okay.
You know, we did the same thing at the same time and all the rest of them. So all those who were doing campaign and people were making too much noise about Buhari and all that, I was just laughing. I said, is it not this man that I work for? You know, because you can't be, whether the person is a president or once you are working for that person on communication issues, it's not like Prof now. I don't know whether he has told you people the number of times he was chopping food in Prof's house. So, because if you are doing communication, you are very close to the man. You know, it's not something that you'll be doing from far. So you will get to know the man at a very close range. You start to know the kind of way he thinks. You know. So when the people from the other camp, the APC camp and the Andy camp were making noise about Buhari, a couple of things they said. In my head, I said, no, it's not Buhari. Because I know the kind of thing the man will do and the kind of things he will not do. Having stayed fairly close to him in the course of those camps. He's a fairly disciplined person. If you have maybe you need to do what we are doing with him, and you say 5, by 15 minutes to 5, he will be there. And to some extent, he's a man who will tell you what is in his mind, you know. And when he's not saying it publicly and all the rest of them, you know, I'm not trying to praise him anyway, but I'm trying to give you a reflection of who I figure he is when we work fairly closely together. You know, so that's the thing. So if you're doing this kind of job that you people are doing, you will meet all sorts of people at the top level. Some of them may turn to become your friends. And that's why when I say that we may not have money, but we may have little influence to get something power. Where you can see how more or less is the job that is bringing that about.
Okay, it has been a very wonderful interaction with you. I've learned a lot. I believe our viewers have learned a lot from Media Icon. We thank you for your time and out of your busy schedule, you decide to have this conversation with us.
I don't have a busy schedule.
Thank you.
The truth of the matter is that I'm currently unemployed. So if you have any job for me, you give me.
Oh my God.
Anyway, thank you.
Oh my, you will not kill me. Okay, you say you don't have a busy schedule.
Match, let me
Are
tell
you
one
be
thing.
running kitty kitty?
No. Let me tell you one thing. Let me even talk about you guys.
Okay.
My son is into this kind of.
Okay.
He lives in Lekki. He likes to call himself an audio engineer. So they even go into podcasting and all that. He produces music and all that. So I have relatively fair idea interacting with him because at one point he was using my boys' quarter as a studio. I want to encourage you people.
Okay.
The thing is that you need a lot of investment in monetary terms.
Okay.
I know that should not discourage you.
Okay, sir.
But please invest more in people.
Okay.
When you invest more in people, people that work with you, ensure that their skill level, push it up, so that they can do
better,
extremely good
better.
job.
Okay, sir.
For example, your photographers, should be able to know
the right shots,
the right shots,
the right time,
Okay. You know that some people live on photography, and in this digital age, when you hear about some of these companies, where they take pictures and put online, and people buy them. There was a time, those days when we were doing so much calendar. Some years we spent up to 1 million naira buying pictures. Because if you have to do, I remember when we did something for Seaways, and we needed 7 good pictures to do 2 month review calendar. What do you do? You find that some of those, because if you pick those pictures as they are, what they do is that they reduce
the quality of
the quality of it. So even when you pick it, if you put it will preserve. So you buy the original, they will buy the original picture, they will send you. Sometimes before you finish that calendar, you spend 200,000. And we are buying from South Africa. So there are opportunities in so many of these areas. And what they do, sometimes they just go inside, like in Anambra, and they will go and start looking for where you have nature, shoot those photographs. And someday somebody will be looking for that kind of thing. So they can become streams of income. But that means that the photographer must be good to be able to spot
the catchy areas and the
attractive. You can be moving around the street, you find somebody. Like for example, you see a pregnant woman carrying load. You pick it. One day that photograph will catch you. Because there is a story that picture is telling. There is also a lesson that picture is, or a child who is supposed to be in school. You find that child at the time he's supposed to be in school, running around in the street. It tells a story, and so many other things. These days I hear that women, masquerade kisses women and all that. So such funny, disruptive things. The other day they were announcing that they have arrested masquerade. In the past you can't do such a thing. So those things are some things that you can pick. One day somebody will need some of those pictures. And the opportunities are so much. Even in the aspect of sound. By the time you need a big concerts and all that, I don't know whether if you have a concert that will involve about, let me say, 5,000 people, whether we have people who can have the kind of sound,
can cover the
can cover the
number of people.
and everybody is happy with projections and all that. You know, these are areas to. You may not get people to hire it every day, but if in a month you have one, you're okay. So
we are learning a lot.
So these are the things that, because what we are talking about, we want to make this place a smart megacity. So every technology area, every area of entertainment and all the rest of them, where people are, they can, if they keep working, we are expecting that Anambra will not remain the way it is. Once you have security, even when the security thing returned, it was wonderful. Because even though I understand that is still the same thing, if you go to Abakaliki Road in Oka now, from anytime, from evening to night, the next day, you know, the place is, the nightlife is bubbling. You know. It may not just be in that place, you know. I'm sure once we have security, other places, you know, we develop. And at the end of the day, when people finish working, making money, the next thing they want is to enjoy themselves. And you're in the business of enjoyment.
Thank you.
Are we true?
No.
Oh, sorry. I thought you had closed the interview.
Okay, no.
I thought we were even having a conversation. I thought we were having off.
Okay. I think we have come to the end of this interaction.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your time, and our viewers. Thank you for being with us, and continue. We'll bring you more details of the deliberations, the interactions at the Anambra State Transition Committee sitting at the Golden Tulip Agri Lake Hotel. Thank you.
Okay, Matthew,